Welcome back to the Bonus Bone Podcast. Chasta and friends today. It is Chasta and Baby Huey, who's always here, of course, but Lamont and Tonelli are missing. They're
missing action.
MIA.
We need a milk carton with their faces on it.
John Serrato, get on that.
Yes.
That'll be part of the thumbnail.
For the 35th anniversary as well. Find it. Where are these guys?
You're funny. But we have a very special guest on the podcast today who we've wanted to have on for a while. Tony, everybody. Yay!
Bonus Bone. On 107.7 The Bone.
Yes.
Oh, we got to do a woo-woo.
Oh, yeah, we forgot the woo-woo.
Woo-woo. Woo-woo.
Yeah. Hey, that was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of sounded like Lamont.
That's from the diaphragm.
Yeah, that was your cheerleader voice.
Yeah.
Deep down in there.
I'm full of spirit.
Part-time Tony, or as I call him, whenever he fills in on my show, it is Primetime Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Either way.
Tony Primetime.
Tony Primetime. I love it.
It's on my driver's license.
Welcome to the... I bet it is. Welcome to the podcast. So we've kind of decided this is going to be a real... shit show of an episode, a cacophony of
you can
topics.
curse on here.
I know, isn't it
Yeah.
fun?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Nice.
We get out of our cage
Frick
a little
yeah.
bit. Yeah, frick yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you daredevil. You daredevil. So we're going to get to know Tony a little bit, or I should say you were going to get to know Tony a little bit. And one of the things we were going to talk about with you is tipping, because your other part-time Tony job is that a full-time job? How many hours you get there?
I think it's a little. I'm like a full-time bartender with a part-time radio job.
There you go. Okay, that
So this
works.
is my side hustle, but it's
Right.
it changes places a lot.
Welcome to the
depending
Bay
on
Area.
Yeah. No week is the same for me,
Yeah, that's true.
and I like it, but I also don't like it.
I was going to say, is that good? Because, like, to me, I have the same routine all the time. And
Every day, yeah.
And there's times where I'm like, man, I just get kind of like, go through the motions.
Well,
and
it's
I
a burnout factor.
Yeah, the
'cause it's always
burnout
the
factor.
same.
And I always wonder, man, it'd be kind of cool if just different schedules, like every week, like I can sleep in on this day, and I know I can go to this location on this day. It's just mixing it up, keeping it fresh.
Yeah, but it's a lot to keep track of, because there was a time there, like you had like 4 or 5 jobs.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
could say that as your boss, and trying to manage you is like, where is he today? I don't know.
And
He's
other
all
people-
over the bay.
Other
Yeah.
people down the hall are trying to keep track of your schedule.
Oh, I know.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to whittle it down to a respectable 3 now.
Again.
Yeah, I can
Welcome
relax
to
a
the
little
Bay.
bit.
I
I can fucking
know.
relax just a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
exactly. So the cigar bar was specifically where I was talking, which is just right down the way, a couple blocks away
Yeah,
from the
it's on
Bone.
Montgomery. It's a block away.
It's a
Yeah.
very cool spot. I haven't been there in a long time.
And when I worked with KGO, when I started here, like 5 years ago, almost, I'd take all the 5 a.m. shifts because nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I would bartend. Some days I would bartend, and I would be there until like 2 or 3, cleaning up the bar.
Okay.
And then I just walk down the street, come up into the KGO studio, kick my feet up, and take a little nap. And then if my alarm goes off, perfect. Or if the studio alarm goes off, either way, I'm waking up.
Either way.
Either way, I'm like, But it was a lot of fun. I mean, I really do like the hustle aspect of it, and I have my mom to thank for that. She's got like an amazing work ethic.
Yeah.
And so that was really instilled in me at like a very young age. Yeah. But she's also like, you gotta cool it with all these jobs.
It
And I'm
was
like,
a lot
I
there
know,
for a
but
minute.
yeah, I was managing a whole building.
Which was crazy.
On top of bartending, on top of radio, on top of AV work, the thing I really like about it is that, like, each, at least for the main 3, the radio, the bar, and some music stuff,
Yeah.
that all like took me in great directions, and I met these people who then would kind of offer me some other side things, and so I would kind of take it, because the AV stuff I like. I always like working with audio equipment. I did that since college radio.
You are a tech nerd, and I mean that with all the love and respect in my
Yeah,
heart.
yeah.
Like, seriously, he knows how to run that board in the studio better
Yeah.
than I do.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, if I had a problem and you weren't here, I'd be calling him.
Or some of our own engineers.
Yeah. He said what he said. He said what he
I
said.
can say it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I wrestled with our broadcasting software pretty often.
Yeah,
But I mean, I like it, and really, it's because in like a classroom environment, I can't really sit still. I can't really pay attention all that well. But when I kind of get the hands-on thing, it really like it really everything clicks.
That's where
I'm
you're
trying to
engaged.
imagine Tony in high school or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
What were
this
you-
but worse.
Is that what it was?
No,
This
no,
but
no
worse.
chops.
Yes.
Did you have chops in high school?
No.
Not
Well,
even close.
when I first started growing hair, it all was like under here, so it was like a weird chin strap, and then like a very thin mustache thing, and then now this started coming in, and I had a friend of mine who even before I did any radio stuff, I did stand up, and he had chops but no mustache, and I was like, wow, that's like a cool hairstyle. Maybe one of these days I'll get one of those.
I'll be a big boy.
And then this started to come in, and I was like, let me try it. And I was like, oh yeah, it kind of works.
It
Kinda
works for you.
Squares the jaw a little bit.
I was gonna say like old Danzig.
Oh yeah, totally.
Old Danzig. Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I also, because you guys were talking about my Queen's tattoo.
Yeah.
So this is
if you're watching
like,
on YouTube,
God, this
you can
angle
see it.
is weird. Here we
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
I was doing. It was like, what the hell? But like, this is from like their songs from the Def album. I love it. Their third album. And then this is a Danzig. Actually,
There we go.
there we go. And then this is like a Danzig tattoo right here, a full kind of body, this ghoul, devil, demon thing. My dad has one of those on his back.
The same tattoo?
Kind of the same little characters on
Okay,
there, but
got it.
it's on like a different part of his body. But I got this. This was my first tattoo ever.
Wow.
Okay.
And I showed it to him thinking I was like, yeah, we got the same tattoo. But all he said was like, why'd you get it there? And I was like, I don't know. I thought it kind of looked cool. I'm like, starting with
It
the
is a
forearms
brave
and
spot.
stuff.
It is a brave spot for
Yeah.
a first tattoo. But
but-
it works for you. It's a
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's fine.
There's a lot of real estate here on this very vertical body I have.
You have you do have a very how tall are you?
6'3".
You're 6'3", you're what?
6'4".
6'4".
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
6'5" on a good day.
Yeah, and then Lamont is 6'5"-ish.
No, he's 6'3".
Is he 6'3"?
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah.
has definitely told me 6'5". He may have been 6'6".
Lamont and exaggerating.
I know.
Wow.
What a concept. Do you have any other tattoos besides the two?
I got one. My most recent one is like this little palm tree with a little skull at the bottom. It like a little tribute to one of my bands. The part of the logo was a little palm tree in it.
Cute.
And so when the band broke up, I went and got it. And that one hurt the most because it was like right here.
Ribs are
Yeah.
I desperately want a rib tattoo, but I'm terrified. And I have 7, so I know what the pain feels like, but everyone's like ribs is a no-go.
Yeah.
So would you encourage me to get it or not?
I would say so. I mean,
Okay.
mine's is not too big, so I only really had to like tell them like, oh, hang on for like a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
you're
only
like, I
had
need
to
a breath.
I had to tap out once, and then
Yeah.
and then they went back into it.
It needs to be our mission to get Baby Huey a tattoo.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you are.
I'm the rebel now.
I know.
You think
You're
about
the
today's
unique one.
culture,
It's true.
not having a tattoo, that's the rebel now.
But he's got Queens and Danzig. I mean, are you really a Green Day fan if you don't have a Green Day tattoo?
But which logo? They've had so many logos on different
You
albums.
tell me. Or Billy Joe's face on your back. I mean, let's go all in.
Yeah,
Go big or go home.
You know how like Steve-O has like his whole face
Exactly,
like on
that's
it?
what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I have a photo with him with that tattoo. Or
Oh, that's right, you do.
he took his shirt off and I posed next to him with the tattoo. It was like I have to find that photo.
Would you get a Green Day tattoo? Can't put a bumper sticker on a Lamborghini, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I was gonna say, bring down the value of this treasure.
Yes. You kind of have to. I feel like it's a mission.
But that's the thing. Which Green Day era? I mean, Dookie is when I discovered the band, like
To me, it would be
9,
that.
10 years ago. Years old.
Where it
Yeah.
all began.
Yeah.
Right? Because like to me, and I wonder if you agree, like my tattoos are a time capsule. They're like a timeline of my life. They each came in different times of my life, representing a time and space or people or whatever in my life.
There's a lot of people like the old school Green Day fans. Their tattoos revolve around Kerplunk, the way Green Day spelled out their band name on that Kerplunk album. So that I think that's a lot of people like signifies. Oh, I'm an old school or from the beginning Green Day fan.
Okay.
Which
well,
I'm
that's
like,
fair.
but that's been kind of overused. So
yeah. And you want to be unique.
Just get the word Dookie just tattooed
yeah, in the big,
all across your chest
big
right
red
here.
letters.
Oh my
Well, that's gonna be the pick. I gotta get the pick.
There you go.
The guitar pick.
guitar pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dookie font.
Right.
So maybe we'll do a test run or.
And then you get the guitar pick with your name on it as a tattoo. Now we're talking. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to get him to do a guitar pick. Dunlop, thank you to Thomas and Brian.
Yeah.
Dunlop gave me those guitar picks. and they want to do one for Baby Huey too. And he had a great idea of doing
Yeah.
Baby Huey in the Green Day font.
Oh, nice.
I just
Yeah.
gotta get our art guy to make it for me. I keep forgetting to send it.
Serato, who's editing this right now.
Yeah. Serato, if you're listening right now, do me a favor, please, a huge favor. Get the Dookie album font or Green Day font and just do Baby Huey in that font.
He would love it.
And the shape that would go on a guitar pick.
And then
Serato's the
tattoo it on
greatest.
his body.
Yeah.
Bust out your ink needle. Do like a little prison tattoo where you just hit it.
Yes. Bing, 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 bing.
Ink your Selly's ass.
Oh.
But isn't that what? But like the Samoans do that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
The Rock,
Oh.
The Rock, his whole tattoo is like that.
There's a lot of tapping tattoos. In a lot of cultures, I can't imagine how painful that would be. Oof. They
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
in Thailand too. It's like, oh my god.
I have a friend who's really into this video game series, the Yakuza series. And he has like a whole back ornate, like
Well, that's how they do
Japanese
it,
Oni
right? Yeah.
mask. I think he's still working on it too. It's been like almost like 2 years since he started it.
Yes. Matt from Trivium. Because
Yeah.
I know he's really big. I mean, he's half Japanese, but like that's
Right.
part of his whole
I
body
feel
art.
like he's like 80% done probably at this point,
I
wouldn't he?
think so.
Because he's
But his guy's here in San Francisco.
right. Yeah. So I know whenever he travels here on tour,
He'll do a tattoo session.
do a session. But he's got to be pretty close to being done. I feel like most of his body is.
We should,
is
like, call
taken
him
up.
right now on
I
the
know, right?
podcast.
Exactly. How much more percentage do you have to do the whole bodysuit? What's amazing is in that culture. There's a cool documentary, and I do not remember the name of it. I saw it years ago about how whenever they pass away, they take those tattoos off and make a bodysuit out of them and frame them in your
Oh,
house.
man. Oh, okay. I was going to say, I hope nobody else is going to put that on. And be
Yeah.
like,
You went,
I'm him. Do I get his parking spot now?
You went full on. That was.
I will take
horror film.
Kendo's parking spot now. And his Mitsubishi.
Oh my god.
Like wear the actual skin?
Yeah, so Jay and I actually, this is getting really dark all of a sudden. Surprise,
Let's
surprise!
do it.
I take it
We're
to
all
dark.
wearing dark clothing today.
Yeah, there we go.
Dark room.
You did dark, yeah, exactly. Jay and I, like, we have talked about that too. That if he passes before I do, that I would take one of his tattoos off and frame it.
Oh, I thought you meant the whole body.
That's what they do in Japan. They do.
Wow.
Yeah.
From where, like, neck down?
Well, yeah, it's like a bodysuit. If you've seen like,
Can I just Google it? Let's-
oh yeah.
How should I frame it?
Yakuza, I think that's how you say it. Put Yakuza tattoo style. Put that in.
Or a like skin display or
Yeah. Well, actually, look at this.
Okay, wait.
If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to get a little extra. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. But like this is one that has been like taken off.
But that's like that's like Matt's what he has.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Tribune.
Yeah. So it's like down to, most take it down to like your shirt sleeve level,
Yeah.
or some will take it all the way down to the wrist.
So you're saying when you die, they take your whole skin?
They literally skin you. Like
Yeah.
instead of tiptoeing around it, I'll just say what it is. They basically, like in some parts of that culture, they'll take your skin off.
Wow.
And then they flatten it and then they
Yeah.
frame it. So like when you walk into your home, it's like a body art, but it's real. It's your skin. Wow. Yeah. So Jay and I saw this documentary together and he was like, wow, that's like really dark, but also sick. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I said, would you want that done? Like, would you want your, like, he has that huge.
I was thinking his chest piece.
Yeah, the bird
That'd
on his chest.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, what am I going to do with it? Instead of it being in the ground, why wouldn't it be an art piece? That's pretty amazing.
How do you preserve the skin?
That's a good question. I don't know. Formaldehyde of some sort, and
Wow.
probably
and I mean,
some
since
other
money is
mixture.
tight, so would you have to do it yourself? Would you have to?
You go to the morgue.
Oh!
Let me in
Oh
there.
my God! Right?
I'm mourning my husband. Hang on.
Older Chasta walks in. Let me in.
Let me in.
This is love here.
Oh my God! Woo.
Where are you taking me?
Or the viewing. The viewing's not going to start for 30
Yeah,
minutes.
Shasta has to take her
And then
husband's
do-
chest
A
off.
private viewing just for you.
Oh my God!
And then
yeah.
you have to keep the nipples. Do you have to keep the nipples
I
too?
was gonna say,
That's a good question.
How far do you go
yeah,
down?
Right? Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it now without looking at a picture. I think it goes between his nipples. So I guess I would.
Okay.
I'm just thinking Cody's going to keep watch on the door while
right?
you do that.
He's guarding the door
Like
while his mom is.
older Cody's
Wow.
like, sup.
By the
We
way,
went even darker than I thought we could.
by the way, speaking of Cody, because I just heard him on our legal ID
Yes,
not too
yeah.
long ago.
Yeah.
I love how he says, "Let's rock and roll. Let's
I
walk
know.
and roll
Walk
with
and
the W."
roll.
Because we had this discussion when we did. It was the Safeway in Walnut Creek, right?
Oh, where we did the
Forever
backpack
ago?
thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
the backpack drive,
Yeah.
yeah. And you were talking about like, oh, I would be sad once he grows up because that's kind of, that's that point in time of Cody.
Yes.
And I wanted to bring this up, and I was like, no, this is good. This is a very good opportunity because then you can get adolescent Cody, and then you get angsty teenage Cody. Like, you listen to the Bone, whatever. Leave me alone, Mom.
Am I done
Get
yet,
out
Mom?
of here.
Am I done yet? Whatever.
Here's Journey, whatever.
That is fantastic. I'm so doing that.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, because you were also saying like he's gonna grow up. He's
and he
there's gonna
won't
be
do walk and wool forever.
Oh, maybe he
Here's
might.
hoping.
He might.
He might go to college saying walk and wool.
He might. Yeah.
Maybe the first day of school is the first day you get a fresh new recording.
Oh my
from
God,
Cody.
that's brilliant! Every year I get like a new recording of him,
Cody.
like we do, like people do school pictures.
Yes.
I could do the audio version of that.
Wow, we're brainstorming like
we
real
are
time.
like making. You have entered a meeting.
Your
here at
whole
the-
family is going to be documented. Jay's skin is getting preserved, and Cody's voice.
The whole time it's hanging in the background, flapping like a flag.
He's like, I'm not done yet. What happened?
He's got a big Band-Aid on him.
Big Band-Aid.
Putting the cart before the horse there, Missy.
I was really excited about the art. I love art, and I love tattoos.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to ask Tony real quick. Tony, you're talking about your time here at the Bone and all the multiple jobs. How's it been for you working at the Bone in the last few years now? Working for like this heritage rock station we talk about, very popular rock station. I guess for me, I'm a little jaded for being here for so long, but from your perspective, what's it mean for you to be here?
You're a little jaded / brain stew about it.
Exactly. Dun-dun. Which I wish Green Day would do live. They do. You saw it.
I did see.
They do Brain Stew into St. Jimmy now instead of Brain Stew into Jaded from the Insomniac album, which pisses me off. It's like, I want my old school Green Day combo.
Maybe if you got the Billy tattoo, he would do that for you.
Yeah.
There's a payoff here.
Just have play this. Show him. See if you can get out of the Jumbotron.
Real quick, you guys see that old man? I think it was on TikTok. He went to Costco and he didn't want his chicken scanned with the
Yeah. He had the barcode on his shirt. Yeah. He's like, scan this.
What? Fill me in.
Hold on, let me Tommy.
Man, I nailed it when I said a cacophony of topics
know,
today.
sorry.
I really set the bar.
This is what happened.
This is good. We're having a lot of fun
I know.
with it, though.
It's like
yeah.
ping pong, ping pong.
Because I saw the very same rotisserie. I think he's scamming him though. Because I mean, how what's to say he didn't like price it down like $5 or something like that?
I missed this altogether.
Tommy my brother sent it to me.
I wouldn't trust like hey, don't scan this thing that's a part of your actual
He had a
job.
barcode on his chest.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
I hate how he's asking him too. He's like,
He's
scan this, buddy.
Right.
Hey, chief.
But he's
Oh my
got the barcode right there on his shirt. You see it?
How bizarre.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So here's what's funny about this.
I would just be like, no. This is
Right,
scan
I know.
here.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Nice
want,
try.
He doesn't want the scan on his chicken because he's going to eat it. But you're scanning your
Your
body.
chest,
What's the difference?
I know,
Yeah.
it's like gonna poison the chicken.
He kind of looks like a chicken
There
a
you
little
see,
bit.
look, bam,
He's
bam.
getting-
Kind of looks like a rotisserie chicken. He's got little wings.
You're right, though. He could have scammed him. It could have been a different
Scan
price.
me, I'm chicken.
Sorry, not to go off my
I
tangent.
got a little hair on this chicken.
Let's get the train back on the
Sorry.
tracks.
But
All
yeah,
right.
we're working at the Bone.
Yes, working at the bone. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, having jumped around so many stations here in this building, I've learned so much.
Oh, yeah.
Because I came from another local station.
Of which will not be named.
Yeah. But having went from that station where I wanted to like physically run the boards and kind of do everything that I've been doing here.
So when they actually had bodies in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah. When it was more of a radio station, less hallway.
And just a ghost town.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Just
yeah,
clarifying.
Yeah.
But when I was over there, everything was completely automated. And so you would just sit there and just mark off on a commercial log. So I had log experience of what I do over here.
Right.
But that was it. And so when I came over here, I started at KGO, and that was like hit the ground running. Like, actually, oh crap, this is a fucking live station. People are hearing this in real time.
Reacting to you.
Give or take 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm like, if I screw up a transition, people are going to hear it. And really, I come to realize that, like, really the small things, nobody's really going to pick up on it. But we stress so fucking hard on it.
One of the best advice from Tonelli. Tonelli, like, if it's the best of show and I'm sitting there with him and like, oh, I screwed up this one little thing. He's like, don't worry about it. It's in the past. It's
Move
gone.
on.
Move
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You can't do anything about it. Most people probably didn't even realize
That's
it.
the thing about
Yeah.
live radio is once that train has left the station, you just got to keep rolling.
If you don't acknowledge it, most people forget about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And so like I've learned a lot from there, and like I had so much fun. And this is me kind of playing at being a DJ early on, because for the news programs, especially during the afternoon, I had the most fun with Mark Thompson. He was the afternoon guy.
Yeah.
And he kind of geared his show towards a younger audience, and so I would kind of put some rock music, some more like contemporary kind of garage stuff.
Yeah.
That I was really into, and a lot of it was really high energy, and it flows right into there. And so like I can't describe like how awesome it is, and this goes across for every anchor that I've worked with at KGO, where I would start playing some music, and if you can see them, if they're not on Comrex, and they start like vibing to it and like nodding to, or you get people like going like, what song was that? I'd be like, oh yeah, there we go, 15-second DJ,
Yes.
And so, and then eventually, Mark started doing this thing where if he had like a guest producer on or something like that, he would give him the golden token of playing like a song. And so I did a Zeppelin song from that Denmark radio station. That video where everything's like in black and white, and there's like a group of students sitting up there.
Yeah.
And this is like right when Zeppelin 1 was like fresh, hot off the presses. And it was such a killer fucking video. But I picked Communication Breakdown, I believe.
Yeah.
Great choice.
And I did a little blurb about that. And then at the end, I was like, "The Bone, are you listening?"
Oh my God, no
And
way.
it turns out y'all were. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
And
I
so
remember-
all of that was a really great transition into what we do now. And then really the only thing I had to get over was just not being embarrassed of my own voice.
Which is so funny. I remember you first emailing me when you worked at KGO, and you were like, here's my experience, here's my air check. And, you get all kinds of stuff in this business. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I hadn't met you yet in person. And I listened and I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Like, we got some talent here. Unfortunately, at the time, we didn't really have a space for a part-timer. But I was so glad whenever I started getting you on and getting to work with you. And I remember you saying that you didn't like your voice. And I was like, why? That's so crazy. But I've worked in radio for 22 years, I think now. I forget about it. The only time it'll bother me is when I see myself on Soundwaves TV and we're out at a live event and I'm having to yell over music. Bottom of the Hill, perfect example.
So you got to kind of project yourself a little bit.
Project,
Yeah.
and I just sound like a cheerleader. Like I hate that version of my voice, but you get over that, and you're getting over it.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty comfortable in it now.
Good.
And whenever I would talk to some of my friends about it, I would be like, what I really love doing is getting a little cornball with it, where I'd be like, "Hey, that was just a tinge of that, because
Hey, everybody, I'm a DJ."
You do a little DJ, a little Wolfman Jack kind of thing, and so I kind of like that, where I can kind of be in on the joke of like I can be a little ridiculous sometimes,
A little campy.
and,
That's a
and,
good word.
Yeah, and it's honestly fun, and then you kind of develop the persona out of that.
Yeah.
And so I really had. This has been like an amazing learning experience. Just being in this building, everything that I've done is like everything I wanted to do in radio. And like I didn't get that experience in college. I didn't get that experience at the other station. I got it all here. And this was the place to learn it. And when there would be a new hire or somebody, if I was at Bottle Rock and there was a local college campus that asked me about, I forgot what the local college was. But they were asking like, hey, what's like some advice, and I'm like, well, first, always say yes, take any shift you can.
Great advice.
Especially the 5 a.m. ones, because it does suck to get up at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. But like, once you get there and, because you're kind of in that same boat with the other people there too. And then we're both like, hey, we're both tired, but like, let's get through it. And then the energy kind of ramps up throughout the day.
Yeah.
And so you gain a lot of really valuable experience. And like, I couldn't have gotten it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, and I was so happy that like when that other station flipped and some came over here to KFOG, RIP, they got me in on it. And at first I wasn't like super enthusiastic about news. I'm like, news, whatever.
But the foot in the door.
The foot in the door.
Yeah.
And then eventually working with the anchors. And I was like, I'd start to, watch the State of the Union a little bit,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just to kind of see, since I'm, coming in the next day, I want to see what they're going to talk about, and see if I can, click my mic on and put a little quip in there every now and then.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's been a real amazing ride, and
you're very good with the quips. That's my favorite thing about
Yeah.
you. Is like again, all the love and respect to my heart. Your weird ass quirky things. I'm like, you have a brain that none of us have. That's what I love about our staff, and I've said this to you a million times in private conversations. Is that I love that everyone on this staff is so different from one another.
Yeah,
like we all have very specific lanes, and that's not always the case. But it's funny that it's worked out
It's like
that
a
way.
living sitcom.
It really
I mean,
is.
I really think like everyone's different, unique. So hopefully the listeners, when they
Hear
listen, there's different people you can gravitate towards or relatable. We are your live, local, in-house rock station.
Exactly.
No one else has that
No,
here.
it's so unique.
Yeah.
I don't know that people realize we're getting a little geeky on radio,
Yeah.
but I don't know that people really realize that. But
Inside talk. It's there's other stations. Yeah, they have no bodies there.
there's no bodies there. It's so cool to be able to be in a room like this. I don't know.
We're here in San Francisco. You can follow us on social media
Yeah.
and like behind
We're
the
out at
scenes
events
stuff.
on the
Yeah. You
weekends.
can talk to us.
Yeah.
It may look like we're on a Zoom group chat, but this is like different angles of the same room.
We're in the same room.
Yeah,
Like put my hand in.
Go into Tony's
There he
room.
is. There's
there
Huey.
he is. I love it.
Yeah, right. We are live. We're local. We are
We
locally
are.
situated in this very room right here.
We can walk into each other's frames. No, it's true. It really is such a pleasure having you on staff. Like we're having a lot of fun, and it's only just beginning.
So I wanted to ask also from your perspective, what's it like to be, because technically Tony is the youngest guy on the station
By
now.
a good measure.
Yeah. No,
would say.
I had that for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I have my own perspective and stories I can share, but like currently from your perspective, like now you've been to some Bone events now, you've interacted with our listeners. So what's it like, for you kind of being the young guy of this crew?
Well, I ran into Jason the plumber at our recent rock night out,
Okay. Yeah.
and he was like, "Hey, are you like an intern?" I'm like, "No, I get paid." He's like, "Good for you, man."
Good for you.
Do you have an orange shirt on?
yeah, he did, yeah.
Jason the plumber.
But I thought that was really funny because I was like, I could still pull off the intern look if I wanted to.
That's a
maybe
compliment.
shave
Hell,
this.
I would take that.
If I drop these, I look like I get college credit.
Yeah.
I get paid in credit. But yeah, I mean, getting familiarized with our music. I've always kind of been listening to classic music. My dad like turned me on to Black Sabbath and then like the Misfits and kind of a lot of like punk music. But he would have like a couple of classic rock cassette tapes. He would have like Pearl Jam. He had Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And so like it's always been there, but I've never really been fully immersed in it quite like how I've been here. And so like it's a great learning experience to not only listen to the greats, but I realize how much that still influences music nowadays. So with a lot of the more contemporary like garage rock revival and psych rock and stuff, a lot of them really do credit like Sabbath and Journey and Can, if you know Can, King Crimson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of that has their fingers in modern rock music, and so it's really cool to familiarize myself with the music that really started it all.
Started
The
it all.
roots of it all.
The
Yeah,
roots,
the
where it
influence.
began.
And my ability to then insert myself into these songs and mold myself into where I'm not, like a junior G Willikers, kid with a giant lollipop. I can kind of get in there and just be like, that was Wheel in the Sky. It was Ronnie James Dio, and actually mean it because I would as I'm tight because I would sit in here and I know it's probably a little frowned upon to maybe read off of a script or something, but it helps me.
Not in the beginning.
So
I
I don't-
did that in the beginning.
So I don't accidentally say something stupid.
Yeah.
I look it up and I review it and I make sure it's
I think that's just taking it seriously.
yeah,
You know?
and I would hold it up like a thespian. So if you ever walk by and you see me kind of like, yes,
I love that.
be sure to check out our socials at 1077 The Bone. See Smelly drink the love sludge. And then talk about his violent diarrhea he got afterwards.
Yeah, violent. That's really cool, though. I mean, I remember whenever I first started, again, I'm going way back here, but I would map out every single word. Like, because I was, more for me, I was terrified because I was on a huge rock station in Oklahoma, and everybody I'd ever met knew that station, listened to it every day. And going back to what Tonelli said, I used to beat myself up if I did stumble. Or if I said the wrong word, or if I even paused too long to think of something, it would eat me alive. And then one day I just realized that's the way people talk. You know, people have normal conversations. They stutter, they stammer, whatever. And that became sort of part of the charm. It's like, no, you just let it fly, and what happens, happens. I mean, obviously you don't want to be a train wreck. There's a middle ground. But man, once you get over that hump too, that helps a lot.
Or you start discovering the ability of like being able to pick up right where you stammered and then just power through it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I've done that a few times, and that was like, oh, like I didn't just like stop and just be like, oh, I messed up. You know?
Right.
It's like I just was like, and then back into it. You know, and I was like, oh wow, it didn't
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
It didn't completely throw me for a loop. You know, like, and so that's like really cool too. That's kind of like my most recent, you know, feeling of like, oh, here I am, kind of growing again. Where
I got it back
you know,
again.
I would stumble and just like immediately take it back, because then it just comes back to KGO when they would read reports, you know, and sometimes they would stutter or stammer, or maybe they would get a detail wrong, or maybe say the wrong day, you know, like that. And they would just, you know, finish out the break strong. And then if they need to make a follow-up announcement or something like that, they do it on the next one. And then like Tonelli said, you know, it's all on the past.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and like you can't change it. It's on our skimmer.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's available to us for us to listen over and over again, but nobody else has access to that.
Exactly.
And so like you know, it really, you know, it's cool to be able to pick it up and really continue rolling with it.
Yeah.
And then if you need to make an adjustment or a little side announcement or something like that, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Well, for me,
not the end of the world.
Yeah.
the way my brain process, I feel like pressure. I need to keep talking or saying something. So I'm really bad going, just because
To fill space.
I hate dead air.
Yeah.
So I have a bad habit of just going, even in conversation. So that's why I like having things mapped out, just for me, just for a flow standpoint. Have my thoughts predetermined, pre-written out, or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I get into the break, it's just nice and smooth.
I
And
probably should do that more, if I'm being honest.
But it's all about getting the reps in, like you said, you know. And
is.
when I started off, I was like, I'm not sure I'm really like doing a great job. And you're like, no, that's how it's supposed to be. You know, you're lifting weights. Of course, you're gonna have like shaky kind of noodle arms the first few times, but then you keep doing it. You know, you get that muscle.
He's listening. I love it.
Well, that's the thing I was going to
Makes me
say.
so happy.
Advice-wise, you brought up earlier, like advice to young people. That's the thing I tell people. Like, I feel like there's 3 things in radio to get successful. It is hard work. Like, legit. If we're working hard, people will notice and remember that. 2, it's just who you know as well. Like, it's that's why you try and never burn any bridges.
It is the entertainment industry. I mean, it does come down to that.
Be
sometimes.
nice, you know, have a good reputation. So if people, you know, down the road, if you need something, you know, you can call on people and they remember you and you're a good worker and you have good relationships. So even if, you know, like I said, there are people and we know who've burned bridges, but they're not working anymore in the industry.
Yep.
And then the last thing is timing. I think that's the other thing too. It's who you know, it's when things are available. Like for me, when I started, if I would have started like a year earlier, I probably wouldn't have stuck around. But when I started, there were some openings on the morning show. Previous staff were gone, and then within a few months, I was able to start helping out. But if I was at the station a year earlier or a year later, those openings wouldn't be there, so I probably wouldn't be here still. Who knows? I don't know. The butterfly effect.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Written in the stars, how it was supposed to be.
But my goal with Tony is, so when I ask about the young guy stuff, is like back in the day, me, Joe Rock, and Yeager, I felt like the 3 of us had this really cool, like, I don't know what you call it, like faction in pro wrestling terms.
Yeah.
But we go to Bone events.
A click spelled with a KLIQ.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
But we go to these like Bone events and we were like the young guys there repping the station. and we had so much fun just interacting with the listeners, meeting up. So it's like, with Tony, it's like I want to try. Like I see Tony as me recreating that at some point.
Totally,
so,
absolutely. Can I be in that clique?
Absolutely. We had to updated version of that.
Updated version.
But I remember like Joe Rock, Yeager, and I would go to these events, have so much fun, just doing different things, representing the station, different shows and events, and it was such a fun time.
It's interesting, and I don't want to go too far into this because I don't want it to seem like I'm talking anyone because I'm definitely not. But it is interesting how a radio station does ebb and flow.
Yeah.
It ebbs and flows with staff and with events and with the activity that is there or lack thereof.
Yeah.
I feel like we're in such a flow right now. Like,
The Bone Rock Night Out, it's really recreated those vibes or experience I had 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one thing I love about the Bone Rock Night Outs. And if I haven't stressed enough on the air, for the Bonehead family, you need to come to these things. It's a fun party. It's a way to interact with us, fellow people who love this station, and see live music and just...
It really is that community vibe. I mean, I say the Bonehead family all the time, and I really do mean it. Like, it's that community vibe. You go out and you see the same people, and like... we just have so much in common, just by like loving this music. It blows my mind. This is so cheesy, but it blows my mind all the time that like that's the crux of our relationships with each other and all of these people is that we come from this place where we love this kind of music, and that says something about us and who we are, right? We kind of live on the fringes. We're a little bit renegade. We're a little bit saucy, and it's like.
But that's what I love about the station right now, and props to you and just the environment you've created these last 2.5 years,
almost 3 years.
Yeah, it's going back to the roots, bringing back the soul of the station. What does the Bone mean for people? What is our identity? Because I'll say we had previous people who worked here who ran this station and just kind of had their vision, and kind of it just got boring around
it was very,
here.
It was sometimes very in a box, I think.
Yes.
And I remember when I moved here, the Bone was very active. Like, you guys used to do the Bone Hometown stuff. And, like, I remember being the newbie and, like, being a listener, being a bonehead, And I wanted to bring back some of that spirit that I feel like got lost at times.
Yes. So that's why I'm having fun. Like, working for the radio station, it gives us a cool social life, and now,
built-in social life.
Yeah, so us hanging out together, I feel like it recreates the vibes Yeager, Joe, and I had back in the day, and something that's been gone. Like the Bone, 5, 6, 7 years ago wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So like what we're doing now is just really awesome.
I feel like we're patting ourselves on the back
I
a
know.
lot, but I'm totally fine with it.
We don't do it. We got to do more of that.
I know. No, I'm with you. Absolutely.
And the thing I really love most about being the new guy, because you guys are already well known and people would be able to find you in public and be like, oh, I listen to you and all that. And
I hate you.
Are you Shasta? Are you SH?
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
The amount of times.
But I like still being relatively unknown, because I'll like hear like a pickup truck, like a contractor truck drive by, and they'll be blasting it, and I'll just be at like the crosswalk waiting for the thing to turn on, but I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh, they don't know
I'm right in front of you.
Right, I'm right here.
or I hear it on a boombox and I'll be like, oh, hey, nice music.
I had that moment last week. I was running in my neighborhood, well, sort of outside of my neighborhood. It was a couple miles away, but I was running and I heard somebody just blasting the Bone from their backyard. And it was when Nikki was on, so I'm like texting her like, woo, I can hear you on my run from someone's backyard. Like, it was really fun. I love that we all are still so geeky and passionate about it.
The O'Reilly Auto Parts in Alameda, one by my house, because I was doing all those O'Reilly tweets. I would go in there and they have the Bone blasting.
That's rad.
And so I'd be walking around and I'm like, oh, cool station you guys are listening to.
I do that in Ubers whenever somebody has the Bone on.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'm like you. If I get in the car and they don't realize it, they haven't made a connection yet, I'm like,
I know, I just keep it to myself.
They don't know.
Oh, yeah, the Uber ride you had.
Holy crap, that guy was so nice. He was the biggest bonehead.
But he recognized you when you walked in, or he already knew because your name on
my name on his phone. I opened the door and he goes, "Can I ask you if you're Chasta from the Bone?" And I just sat down in the car and I was like, "Yeah," and he flipped out. He was so nice, like P1, which means like that's biggest listener you can have. He knew all of us. He knew all of our stories, like all of it. He was so great. Yeah, that was really cool. That was the most excitable moment I've had in an Uber, where somebody was like, "Oh my God!"
Okay,
yeah, he made me feel very cool.
But now he knows your address,
and he does. Actually, no, he doesn't. No, it was at the Music Center. I had parked at Green Room Music Center.
Smart.
And no, I didn't even mean to. I wasn't
That's
smart.
just
It just was
coincidence.
happenstance. I had met Jay there because we were trying to hurry. So we were parked at the Music Center, so he doesn't know where I live. Wow. Although I don't think he was that kind of guy. But still.
Maybe moving forward, that should be the
go-to. Right, exactly. All right, we have been on here for 40 minutes,
I know.
and we actually have lots to get done today.
Good bonus bone, everybody.
Tony, thank you so much for being on
Thank
with
you for
us.
having me.
Finally, he will be back, everybody. I
Yes.
can already tell you want more of him. Man, we went through a lot, but we got to some good stuff there.
Absolutely.
It was a journey.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the bartending horror stories.
Oh my
I had.
God.
For round 2.
I had
And the
quite a few of them.
tipping.
Yeah,
And the tipping.
Yeah. And the
Oh my
tipping.
God, that was fuck.
It'll be on the next episode.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Fuck.
you.
Because I had so many questions about that.
Save them. We'll do a whole nother episode. You don't want to bust our one on all in one episode.
Fuck.
We're gonna
I'm
have to
no, seriously, I was like so amped up filling up my water before. I was like, dude, I have so many questions about tipping and the bar. Like, I was going to ask you about bar protocol. Like, what's the do's and don'ts? And like, from your perspective.
That's a radio tease. Don't answer it.
Yeah,
That's a radio
right.
tease.
We'll keep it for next time.
Yes, exactly. Keep it for next time. All right, you guys. We love you so much for being here. Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Peace.
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe, follow, do all the things. Fantastic.